Oi, my drillers, it's your geezer Big Donny Cow here for a brand new video where today I'm kicking off the first episode in our series of the Zero to Hero Challenge. Now, what is this challenge? Well, basically, I have to get a fresh character, not played before, and take it from absolutely nothing to getting Keystone Hero. The thing is, I cannot get help from any of my friends, can't try and coerce the stream or YouTube community to come and help me. I can't send over any money from my alts. I can only use what I have available to my character and my character alone. So yeah, that is exactly what I am doing. Now, before I kicked off this series, I had stages of community voting in the Killer Yard Discord, link below if you want to be involved in some of them in the future. And the community had decided on, well, it was a split three-way judgment between Balanced Druid, Feral Druid, or Restoration Druid. And, well, the Wheel of Fate spun, as you can see, with Balance. I'm not particularly pleased with Balance, so yeah, that's led me to this point with my glorious cool Terran Druid with the best drip you are ever gonna see in World of Warcraft. I mean, look at this man, what a titan. This is the guy absolutely conquering keys at the moment. So I think first I just want to sort of talk about my talent build. I decided to really go for a build which I thought, this will be really fun, as I'm not normally a big fan of playing Balanced Druid. But I took the necessary tools for survival, as I know Balance tends to have issues with staying alive, which is why you might see me also taking a bit of versatility on my gear, because I'm playing Mythic Plus. Versatility ends up being a good stat in higher levels, so I thought I might as well take the versatility just for an easy ride. But yeah, my talent build as a whole, I really like the ability Full Moon, well, New Moon, Half Moon, then Full Moon. So I wanted to do something with that, but I also wanted to kind of create something a bit chaotic. So I added in every single interesting proc talent I could find. So like Convoke, you cast a flurry of random spells. Let's go for that. Denizens of the Dream, you could summon a fairy dragon. Great. There should be, oh yeah, you have a chance to get your Star Surge or Starfall to be free, which is very, very cool. There was, oh yeah, you have a chance with your shooting stars to land, which is sick. You have a chance for that shooting star to become a crashing star instead, which is even stronger. Every 30th shooting star cools down a full moon. Crazy. You have a chance to proc mushrooms, dealing big damage and generating lots of astral power. So yeah, I kind of wanted a lot of these chance nodes. Oh, and also the power of Goldrun. You have a chance to just proc the Spirit of Goldrun to hit your enemies for a bit of extra damage. On top of that, I went for the Loon's Chosen, as this seemed to complement my Full Moon playstyle quite a bit. So I get some nice little CDR on my Full Moon. I decided to choose the chance to bring a Fury of a Loon Beam on my enemies, which has ended up generating me a lot of good astral power and giving me some good bursts. Yeah, just stuff to really increase my damage, sort of thing. So yeah, this has been working out quite well, giving me some pretty decent damage breakdowns in keys, and it's been quite more enjoyable. I didn't think I'd be enjoying Balanced Druid, but I have been. So yesterday, day one, as my time, we were at level 78, and we went to finish off the last leveling with a bit of time walking, and we had some quests to turn in straight away, being a few of the gear quests you can do, like, go do 5 time walking dungeons, turn that in, got myself some shoulders, I believe, go do world quests for the general with your Nerubian pact. Cool, nice easy piece of gear there. World quest weekly, do 6 world quests across the Isles and the Underground. Did that, smashed it out, max level turned it in, and that let me be set up for some quite nice early game gearing. I also decided to go into leather working so I could quickly make some of my own pieces of gear, such as these legs, which are something I ended up grinding for a little bit, as it ended up being 100 item level upgrades. And I tried to farm most of my resources, with the exception of some things I went and bought. And then I've already spec'd into trying to go for my crafted piece of gear, which is these rune branded armbands. So I am getting that maxed out as fast as possible, as I think my second piece of gear would most likely be a cloak. And then I'm trying to fund myself with skinning by running the trophy taker thing, just for a bit of extra gold, especially selling horned bone shards, because where I normally farm my leather, they tend to drop horned bone shards, which are like 80 gold a pop, and so you stack that up and you end up getting a few hundred gold pretty easily. After I sort of did all my open world stuff and I'd managed to climb my way up to, I believe it was 567 item level, I went straight for LFR, did a full run of that. Unfortunately missed the first 2 bosses because of how the queues went, but I did manage to get my hands on the Adrenal Surge class recipe, which ended up letting me well, get a nice bit of money. There should be 8 grand in my mail at some point, so that is giving me a very solid base of money to work off of, and should be enough for me getting all my crafted pieces. And then by the time I feel I need to get some consumables, then I can roll with that quite easily. Then yeah, after that I started off with a couple like keys, some 2s. In the meantime, I was also trying to get into a normal raid run, which I managed to get into eventually, and I think I managed to achieve something which most balanced druids aren't able to do, and that is pulling on time. So yeah, I'm proud of myself. I did what many balanced druids cannot. And so I'm sure you enjoy a little compilation of me messing up my opener, because I decided it was more important to get a clip of me not pulling on, of me pulling on time instead of ninja pulling. Yeah, it's pretty, a pretty solid build I've been running with, I gotta say. It's it shines a lot more in keys, that's for sure. My raid damage is quite pitiful, but yeah, if I bring up a key while I'm not against a warlock like 15 item levels above me, boom, this is quite a nice one. Pretty big damage, top the meters for the group. Full moon topping it, starfall very close behind, star surge and minor moon also close by. Very solid. If you're wondering what minor moon is basically yes, it's a thing that lands when your full moon lands, and it also works off for procs as well, so extra damage, extra astral power. It's very nice. But yeah, so we did the normal raid, and I managed to get incredibly lucky, and I managed to get my hands on the Soreki Zealot's insignia. Man, I was happy with that. And so yeah, that gave me a pretty good base to stand on. But on top of that, I also managed to get my tier legs, which is really good, because later on in the evening, some champion shoulders dropped in a Mythic Plus, and I was like, yeah, I don't mind tiering a champion piece of gear on the catalyst, so I rolled that. I now have 2 set for the next play session, and yeah, that gave me a really solid gear base to start off of. One thing I should have mentioned is before we went into the raid, I actually did some delves. One of said delves granted me with a pretty beefy staff, I believe, which, yeah, it was one of my earliest epic pieces, so having that staff really streamlined my progression a little bit. But it did end up consuming just about all of my flight stones. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't have gone heavy on upgrading a veteran stuff, but at the same time, the intellect I get is very much worth it. I also went to Siren's Isle, and I found out the Circe's Circlet. Yep, that one. And yeah, I got the gems that I wanted, put it all in, and that's been adding quite a nice bit of damage to my build. Gotta say, I'm not a big fan of this ring, but it's solid catch up, especially for an ult. And then while I was farming with that, I could also fill in the rest of my blue gear with purple veteran gear from turning in the Siren Isle currency and buying the catch up gear. So yeah, that's ended up getting me in a pretty solid state. I've got a really strong base to work off of here, leaving me at 603 item level at the end of my session. My current limiting factors at the moment is very much flight stones, and then very soon it's going to be probably going to be some of my crests, as I need to spam a lot of 4s to get the next crests I need. But I'm hoping that in the next week I'll definitely be able to kill some heroic raid bosses and you know, farm some much higher keys. My goal for the next session is maybe to hit 610 item level. So yeah, let's see if we can do that for the next video. I felt like there was something else I wanted. Oh yeah, so I wanted to sort of share something that I learned, and that's if you are playing LFG, one thing I've realized with upgrading my gear is that it's actually going to be easier for me to get in keys if I just go and upgrade something like a ring, which has a low Valor Stone cost. And I've said flight stones a few times in this video. I keep doing it. I don't know why. Dragonflight PTSD. Horrible expansion. But anyway, yeah, so I've been upgrading stuff with the lowest Valor cost now, as that's going to artificially bump up my item level. So people are going to see that and be like, okay, he's higher item level, I'll take him. Also, one thing to note with pugging is you want a decent bit of base score. So my current goal is to just get at least a 2 times on everything. That will probably put me somewhere around 1,200, I'd say. Maybe a bit higher. Maybe more like 1,300. Then from there, it's going to be a bit easier to get into some between the 4 and 7 range, which I can spam to get better crests. And then from there, gonna be blasting up to higher and higher heights. But yeah, it is kind of sad that it's more of an upgrade for me to pad my item level with upgrading the ring, for example, than it is for me to actually like increase my damage through upgrading stuff with higher intellect. But I think it's just one of the harsh things with LFG. The system shows your item level, so if you want to play the system, you gotta push your item level up as much as possible. Anyway, that is pretty much all for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next episode, and yeah, hope to see some of you guys in these streams and in the videos. Yeah, take care, all.